Why did Barry Weiss leave Storage Wars? One minute, he was the fan favorite. Eccentric charm, madcap sunglasses, memorable one-liners. And then, just like that, gone. No goodbye, no warning, just off the radar. But his abrupt departure was not as straightforward as it appeared to be. Behind the scenes, real life was intruding. Severe health scares, personal choices and decisions so astonishing that they even stunned insiders. Barry didn't just fade away. There's a more profound story about the collector we all adored. Stick around. We're digging into what really happened to Barry Weiss. Early life and family business beginnings. Before he appeared on TV, Barry Weiss was in the produce business. He worked for over 25 years with his brother for a family produce firm. The firm had been passed down from his grandfather and was raking in serious cash. Barry didn't just help run it, he helped build it into a behemoth. That early success gave him something that's not typical: total financial independence. He wasn't working paycheck to paycheck like everybody else. He could retire early and do what he wanted to do without concerning himself with how he was going to afford it. That gave him freedom later to get into the world of storage auctions purely for recreation. He also had strong roots in the world of custom cars and motorcycles. Barry did a cameo in Motorcycle Mania 3 with Jesse James, who's his godson. That relationship showed how long Barry'd been in the world of custom cars. His passion for offbeat automobiles, vintage accessories, and strange collectibles wasn't new, it was just part of his personality. Even before TV, Barry's life was already full of unusual pieces, crazy machines, and a passion for the odd. Storage Wars didn't make Barry Weiss, it just brought him to the rest of us. Building the produce empire. Before Barry Weiss became a TV star, he had over 25 years' experience in the fruit and vegetable trade. He ran a wholesale fruit and vegetable business with his brother in Los Angeles. It was a small family concern. Barry's grandfather had started it, and Barry kept it going. The business didn't just do all right, it made him rich. It wasn't a farmer's market stall, it was a high-margin business that gave Barry the freedom most men will never have. He didn't need Storage Wars to be rich. This is why his work was so different from the rest. He'd already done the heavy lifting. The fruit business gave him the luxury of indulging in quirky collections and strange treasures as a hobby. While other cast members were eager for a paycheck, Barry could afford to keep the quirky treasures. That unflappable, cool demeanor you saw on TV, it was the product of years of running a business his own way. The fruit business may not seem glamorous, but it gave him a calling, a fortune, and a step up into the freedom he became known for. Without it, we'd have no Barry the Collector, just Barry scrapping as the rest. Connections to the motorcycle culture. Barry was more than a guy who had a thing for cool cars. His past in the culture of customized rides was rich. Before Storage Wars, he appeared on the 2004 Discovery Channel documentary Motorcycle Mania 3. Motorcyclist builder Jesse James, his godson, was the subject of the documentary. Yes, that Jesse James, the guy who was married to Sandra Bullock at the time. Barry's contribution to the documentary was more than a cameo. He was very comfortable. His knowledge and enthusiasm for motorcycles was evident, a testament to his longtime background in that culture. Though his contribution to the documentary was brief, it said a lot. It said he was not just a rich guy pretending to care about cool things, he was an active participant. His sense of style, sense of humor, and enthusiasm for offbeat cars and motorcycles had real beginnings. So when he arrived on Storage Wars on a customized motorcycle or a quirky old car, it wasn't for show. That was just Barry being Barry. His background in the motorcycle culture added depth to his TV persona. It was not artificially created, it was revealed. For those who were paying attention, Motorcycle Mania 3 gave us the first real glimpse at the guy who would become reality television's most laid-back icon. Storage Wars premieres. In 2010, A&E premiered Storage Wars, a reality program where people bid on storage units. The majority were there to make money by reselling the contents. Barry Weiss wasn't there to do that. Barry wasn't there for the money, he had it. For Barry, this was curiosity and collection. He was the wild card. While everyone else wore work boots and jeans, Barry wore vintage coats, quirky shirts, and always sported his trademark shades. His very arrival became a reason to watch. Fans were always waiting to see what flashy vehicle he'd drive up to the storage unit in next. One day it was a 1950s hot rod. The next day it was a watermelon-colored convertible. Even a ghostly hearse pulled up one day. From the very first episode, Barry stole the show without even trying. He didn't have to be obnoxious and loud. He brought humor, sincerity, and a love of quirky treasures. His nickname, The Collector, wasn't a joke. Barry didn't chase profit, he chased stories. And that gave the show heart. In a cast of dealers, Barry was the connoisseur. And in the eyes of viewers, he made a show about trash a good time. After becoming a fan favorite. By season 2, Barry was the breakout personality of the show. His approach to auctioneering was not manufactured. He didn't dramatize. He had a genuine charm and cool appeal. While other consumers fought over prices, Barry played around. Fans watched solely in anticipation of what he'd do next. Even his competitors, such as Dave Hester, couldn't get to him. Dave didn't play by auction rules. He bid on anything he wanted. One day he purchased a locker full of what appeared to be junk, ancient books, magazines, and boxes of dust. It was packed with rare first editions that cost thousands. Another day, he discovered a vintage motorcycle engine buried in trash. Barry wasn't lucky. He sensed value. He snatched the things most others overlooked, and he didn't mind if it didn't pan out. That set him apart. His bids were inspired by curiosity, not strategy. Fans appreciated him because he didn't take himself seriously. He had nothing to prove. His arrival tamed the show's tone. What might have been another fighting-for-profit reality show became something funny and surprising. Barry made auctions cool again, and for a guy who wasn't even trying, that's a big deal. Standing out from the crowd. By season 3, Barry wasn't just part of the show. He was the reason for watching for most of the audience. Everyone else put on clothes to go to work. Barry wore clothes to put on a show. His jackets, black shirts, and sports cars created a rock star persona. But his sense of style was more than just television. It was a reflection of his whole attitude. He didn't play it safe. He'd bid high just because it was the right thing to do. Other buyers would roll their eyes in frustration, but fans lapped it up. One episode had him bidding on a locker full of old garage garbage. Turned out it had inside a rare 1940s motorcycle engine that paid real cash. Another time, he pulled out a human-scale animatronic clown from a dusty locker. Creepy? Sure, but straight up Barry. His finds never disappointed, and when they were garbage, he made the experience fun. The guy could lose money and smile. That laid-back energy made him different. Where other buyers flew into rages, Barry kept his cool. And unlike some of the cast, he didn't create drama. He just showed up, had fun, and left fans wondering what he'd do tomorrow. It was a wacky combination of style, luck, and gut instinct. And it worked. He brought the show to life, even when the lockers didn't. Barry versus the competition. Barry didn't play the same game as the rest of them. He was calm. They weren't. Dave Hester despised that. Dave referred to him as a price killer because Barry didn't care about profit. He wasn't lying. Barry had money. He wasn't bidding to survive. He was bidding for fun. Jared and Brandy needed to win to pay bills. Daryl needed for it to be big. Barry wanted to see weird things and maybe laugh his way through it. Tension escalated. Things heated up every now and then. Barry never lost his temper. He smiled, told a joke, and was cool. He didn't care if he won or lost. That drove the rest of them insane. But it gave him an advantage. If a unit looked odd, Barry wanted it. He often found gems in things rejected by others. And when things got serious, he hung back. That's what viewers enjoyed. Barry was different. He didn't scream or cheat. He just showed up, stayed true to himself, and enjoyed himself. His style set him apart. He was more your goofy uncle than solid negotiator. Barry reminded people that not every win was about money. Sometimes it was about fun, finding cool stuff, or just riding the thing. Bidding on instinct. Barry never used profit charts or spreadsheets. He just used his instincts. If it was good, he jumped without hesitation. While others guessed worth or calculated math, Barry trusted experience. He'd spent years stocking up on odd, quirky things and knew what to look for. A storage unit filled with old paper didn't scare him. He found vintage ads and comics worth real money. One day, he bought a beat-up guitar case. Inside was an old 1960s Fender Stratocaster. Big hit. These weren't mistakes of discovery. They were products of quick instincts and trained eye. Barry never second-guessed it. He didn't freak if he lost money. That was part of the game. He loved the hunt more than the reward. He enjoyed rummaging through odd things in dirty boxes others skipped. His approach seemed carefree, but it wasn't sloppy. He saw things others didn't and made quick, smart judgments. Fans picked up on it. Barry didn't have to win every time. He just wanted the thrill of the hunt. That confident calm mixed with curiosity put him ahead. He wasn't boasting about it. He didn't brag. But people kept watching because they knew Barry saw value where no one else did. Leaving Storage Wars. Barry didn't make a scene when he departed. No big farewell, no drama, just low-key. He wrapped season 4, then departed. He said the fun had expired. He didn't require the cash. He missed his time. Dave Hester departed after a clash with producers. Barry departed on his own terms. He was done. A few fans were left in shock. A few wished he'd come back. But Barry was dead serious. He'd had his fun, and he was done. His exit left a gap. New cast members came in, but nobody filled Barry's gap. The show still contained lockers, deals, and drama, but it didn't contain that same edge. Barry had brought everything unique: humor, peace, and style. You couldn't fake it. Even off the show, Barry didn't run off at the mouth. He didn't grumble. He simply went back to his low-key existence. That last episode tasted like something had ended. To many fans, Storage Wars lost more than a cast member. It lost the fun man, the heart, the collector. Barry didn't seek fame. He enjoyed it while it was there, then left. No regrets, no return. Just Barry being Barry. Cool, low-key, and done with the spotlight. The fan response. When Barry left, the show went on, but something was off. The spark, the weird cars, the fun. Fans filled forums and comment sections wondering where Barry was. Many said he was the show. Some stopped watching altogether. The cast was still there. The lockers were still full, but the heart was missing. Barry had done something to storage hunting. He'd made it something special, something enjoyable. Without Barry, the show was labor. A&E saw that they'd lost a big attraction. They taunted viewers with reruns and hinted that he might come back. But for a while, Barry remained quiet. He didn't seek fame. That made viewers miss him even more. He wasn't flashy or phony. He was just Barry, the kind of guy you'd want as a friend. As Storage Wars went on through seasons to come, people simply just talked of his name. Online forums with the title of "Bring Back Barry" were common. Some fans made tribute videos. Others shared favorite moments. Whether he came back or not, one thing was true: Barry Weiss was more than a cast member. He was why people cared. He had energy you couldn't fake. And when it was gone, the show never quite felt the same again. A new show, a new ride. After Storage Wars, Barry didn't disappear. A&E awarded him his own series, Buried Treasure. No bidding wars, no lockers, just Barry traveling around in search of odd treasures and encountering even odder people. Every excursion varied. Civil War artifacts one day, a Bigfoot statue the next. He sported obnoxious shirts, made bad jokes, and drove vintage cars. The show wasn't sleek. It seemed like Barry enjoying himself, tracking down strange things and having a blast. He seemed at ease. No manufactured drama, just strange antiques and genuine curiosity. Viewers were able to witness more of his sense of humor and vast knowledge of strange things. Ratings weren't high, however. Some were saddened by the lack of auctions. Others were disappointed in the lack of large stakes. It only ran 8 episodes. It wasn't a success, but it was real. Barry didn't pretend. He was doing it for the cool, not glory. The show presented fans with the true Barry, Relaxed, quick-witted, and perpetually pursuing something bizarre. It wasn't necessary for it to have drama. It had character. Even though the buzz killed off quickly, it provided Barry with an environment to just be himself. And that's what made it worth watching. Quieter days and family life. Barry walked away from TV without a grand farewell, no light, no fanfare. He just craved quiet. He hung around family, particularly his grandson Jack. They spent time together regularly. Rides, laughter, silent conversations. Jack was the highlight of Barry's day. Barry continued collecting, but for enjoyment only. His garage became full again of bikes, peculiar chairs, old tools, and unusual treasures. It wasn't for the camera. He enjoyed the pursuit, not the celebrity. He remained unmarried as well. Once equipped, his belongings kept him an audience. Barry never pursued public attention. He didn't require it. When others remained boisterous, he became quiet. He sported the same sunglasses and drove the same vehicles, but reserved everything else. That was sufficient. He didn't require the limelight to feel comfortable. His followers caught glimpses of him, still cutting, still chic, but the rest remained behind closed doors. Quiet brought peace to Barry. No scripts, no deadlines, just old things, family, and a quiet routine. He didn't have a comeback planned. He didn't want one. During those years, Barry lived the way he preferred, off-screen, untroubled, and surrounded by the objects and people he cared about most. The accident that changed everything. In 2019, Barry was in a bad crash. A car cut him off as he rode with a friend. He crashed hard. His legs and chest broke. He spent days in the ICU. Rumors flew. Some fans believed he died. He hadn't, but the crash didn't do him any favors. It hurt his body and his heart. Barry always pursued wild rides and rowdy parties. Now he had to slow down. Recovery was slow. He required surgery, rehab, and patience. His body moved differently afterward, but he lost no sense of humor. He just took things more slowly. The man who used to bound into things took a step back. Fans inundated him with support. They sent messages and videos. He saw, he felt it, and it helped. The crash didn't kill him. It changed how he moved. It gave him time to consider. Barry adapted but never quit. He remained private but stronger in a different manner. The accident left scars, but it gave him quiet strength. He complained not. He recovered one careful step at a time. Barry strikes back. In 2020, Barry came back to TV, but not for storage units. A&E gave him a short show called Barry Strikes Back. It was simple. He sat with Kenny, watched old episodes, and cracked jokes. Just two friends laughing at the past. No rush, no noise. Barry still had his shades, his dry wit, and that easy charm. He wasn't trying to prove anything. He didn't act younger or louder. He just showed up, told the truth, and had fun. That's what made it work. Some fans missed the chaos of the auctions, but others liked the slow pace. It felt honest. The show only ran 10 episodes, then it ended quietly. But for longtime fans, it was enough. It showed Barry a little older, maybe a little slower, but still sharp, still himself. He didn't chase a comeback. He gave people a moment, a small window into who he'd become. No big speech, no drama, just Barry talking, laughing, and remembering what made the show great in the first place. He reminded everyone that charm doesn't age out, that being real always wins. Barry Strikes Back wasn't loud, but it felt true, and for fans, that was more than enough. Staying true. Barry didn't chase the spotlight. After his crash, he slowed down. He stayed home more, spent time with family, and took short rides when he felt good. His garage stayed packed with odd finds, old bikes, rusty signs, forgotten junk most people wouldn't even notice. He still collected, just not for show. He once joked he needed more shelves, not more fame. He thought about a new show, maybe something with cars and culture, but didn't rush it. Nothing flashy. He stayed close to Kenny, Daryl, and Brandy. No fights, just old stories and laughs. Barry never followed trends. He didn't care about staying famous. He had nothing left to prove. He liked his peace. Fans still asked when he'd return. He didn't say yes, didn't say no. just kept living his way. He still had the shades, still cracked one-liners, and still spotted a good find from a mile away. But he didn't need the cameras. He was happy in the quiet. That's what made him different. He stayed real, always did. For Barry, all he needed was a smooth road, a clean bike, and maybe one more weird old sign to hang in the garage. The comeback that broke the internet. Barry came back to Storage Wars in Season 14 after almost 10 years. Fans went nuts. They missed the cars, the humor, the cool charm. For weeks, producers teased his return. Then he showed up in a 1939 Lincoln Zephyr. Smooth, loud, and very Barry. He didn't need to win bids. Just showing up was enough. The vibe? Classic Barry. He was slower, sure, but still sharp. His jokes landed. His style turned heads, and he looked like he'd never left. It wasn't about winning stuff. It was about fun, connection, and being real. Old fans cheered. New fans got curious. Barry and Kenny joked like always. Brandy rolled her eyes, but smiled. He still spotted cool finds, even without trying. His comeback didn't last long, but it didn't need to. One appearance was enough to steal the spotlight. Barry proved the show still needed him, even if only for a moment. He didn't chase drama. He just showed up, made it fun, and left when he felt done. That's what fans loved most. Barry reminded everyone that real charm doesn't fade. And sometimes all the show needs is one guy in sunglasses and a loud car. Grandfather first, collector second. Barry's priorities had shifted. Less screen time, more time at home. His grandson Jack became the center of his life. Barry proudly called him my best find yet. They spent quiet days together, fixing bikes, sorting antiques, sharing stories. Jack asked questions. Barry lit up while answering. The bond was real. No forced talks or big lessons, just time, honesty, and old things with history. Barry wasn't trying to impress anyone. He didn't need to. Being himself was enough. His friends said he'd softened a little. He wasn't chasing rare finds anymore. He'd rather teach Jack how to spot one. He enjoyed passing things down, not showing them off. You could hear the pride in his voice whenever Jack came up. Whether they were cruising in a vintage car or talking about weird collectibles, Barry looked content. The fame faded, but he didn't care. He'd found something that mattered more. He wasn't playing a role anymore. He was living one. For a guy who once made millions selling fruit and then made millions laugh, being a grandpa came naturally. With Jack, Barry wasn't just collecting memories. He was giving them away, one story at a time. Life out of the spotlight. Barry never wanted to be famous forever. Once the shows ended, he didn't chase attention. No podcasts, no loud social media. Just quiet days, car shows, and the occasional collector's fair. People still recognize him, of course. He'd smile, take a photo, maybe tell a quick story, but he didn't live for the fame. He lived for the hunt and the history. His house still looked like a museum that forgot it was a house. Vintage helmets on the wall, jukeboxes in the kitchen, rare signs in the garage. It wasn't clutter, it was curated chaos. Every piece had a story. He still bought the occasional oddity, but now it was mostly for fun. Barry didn't need to impress anyone. He already had. He stayed single, stayed chill, and stayed true to himself. No brand deals, no PR teams, just the same guy fans first met in 2010, only a little older and a lot wiser. That's why people still care. He didn't fake it. He didn't try too hard. He lived the kind of life most reality stars never reach, one that's real. Barry's quiet years were a reminder that a full life doesn't need a camera to matter. The collector's legacy. Barry's legacy isn't just tied to a TV show. It's the life he built long before cameras showed up. The fruit business gave him freedom. Storage Wars made him famous. But the collecting, that was always real. He didn't chase value, he chased stories. From antique motorcycles to strange old toys, Barry collected memories, not just stuff. He taught fans to look closer, look more, and never take things too seriously. That's the part people remember, not the bids, not the money, but the attitude. He made treasure hunting fun, made being different cool, and he didn't need to win to stand out. Barry turned a side hobby into a full-on vibe. Decades from now, people will still talk about the guy who showed up in a watermelon-painted convertible just to buy junk for fun. His style, his humor, his wild rides, they've become part of reality TV history. But more than that, they've become part of how fans see collecting. Not as work, not as business, but as joy. That's the legacy Barry leaves behind. One built on curiosity, not cash. He proved that a collector can be both serious and lighthearted and still leave a mark. Still Barry. Even now, Barry Weiss hasn't changed much. He's still got the shades, still drives vintage cars, still laughs at his own jokes. He might be older, but the spark's the same. You can find him at car meets, swap shops, or just cruising around town, living slow, living happy. TV might call again, but he's not waiting by the phone. If the right thing comes up, maybe. If not, he's fine. Barry never needed the spotlight. He just made it fun while it lasted. Fans still send him letters, hoping for a comeback or even just a glimpse of that old Barry magic. And sometimes he delivers. A surprise appearance, a rare interview, a one-liner that reminds you why you liked him in the first place. But he doesn't overdo it. He never did. Barry's story isn't one of rise and fall, it's one of balance, of doing things your way and knowing when to step back. He was the collector. Still is. And whether or not he ever returns to TV again, Barry Weiss already won by being himself the whole way through. His story shows how personality can outlast any spotlight or screen time. If you're a Barry fan like us, drop your favorite Storage Wars moment in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell so you never miss more behind-the-scenes stories.